Hello friends, welcome to the Salem Mason Happy Home YouTube channel. I, Julianne, am in the Mason half of the Salem Mason Happy Home YouTube channel. And I'm coming to you live from my dining room. I thought, wow, those curtains are really freaking cool. Now the chair might be a little off, I might find something else there, but I think it might make a really nice background every now and then, right? Happy Tuesday, happy November 5th, 2024. Today is election day. And this should be the most important day in the life of a patriotic American. And whether you're Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your skin color, your gender, your preferences. Our American flag, Old Glory, flies above every American. Today is about you, the American. It is about America. It is about we, the people, deciding what direction our country will take moving forward as a great republic that practices democracy. This is about you. This is about our founding fathers and their dream for a free nation. This is about every American soldier whose lives were sacrificed in the name of God and country. And we honor you today. When you're standing in line waiting to cast your vote, you are representing the United States of America. You are representing your family. You are representing our military. You are representing our government. You are representing our nation as a whole to the world. So while you're in line, shake the hand of the person around you, pat him on the back, smile, be excited about casting your vote. It's not about the candidates. It's not about your party affiliations today. They've had their time. The candidates have done their stumping. They've given you their platforms. They've told you what to expect. They've done all of their stuff. They've done their work. Now it's our turn to stand up and do the work. It's not about them. It's about us today. Election day is not for the candidates. It is not for the party. It is for us, we, you, the American people. So keep that in mind when you are exercising your single greatest right as an American today and cast your vote. Do it with celebration in your heart. Make it a good day. I heard that the White House and Harris, NBC, put out a little review, report that the last couple of days, the White House and Kamala Harris's home has been decorated and adorned with metal fencing because they're so afraid of the election results. That's pathetic. That, first of all, a candidate should have to be afraid of the very people who they want voting for them. Nobody should be afraid. I get that this is probably the most personal and emotional election in our lifetimes. But that doesn't mean that you have the right to scare people with your beliefs. It's been a hell of an awful 4 years. It's also been an exhaustive campaign season. I know I'm looking forward to that being over. But keep in mind that Election Day isn't the end of this. This isn't, thank God this day's come. I'm so tired of all this stuff. I just want it all to end. It's only beginning because one side's going to win, one side's going to lose, and the loser's going to have to choose if they're going to concede if they're going to certify the election. If Kamala Harris loses, is she going to do her duty and certify the election? Is the losing side going to lose with dignity? Is the winning side going to na boo boo to everybody? Or are we going to be proud Americans and say, yep, democracy rules, and the majority said, we want this for our future. We want those people for our future moving forward. I was born and raised in a Democratic household. I mean, fanatic Democratic household. JFK was one of my idols, is one of my idols. I remember being a young child. The first memory I have of life was sitting next to my sister on the edge of the couch watching his funeral on an old black and white TV, and my sister was devastated. She was bawling her eyes out. Our great-grandfather was a United States Senator, Democrat, right here in Minnesota during the FDR years. We have been Democrat our whole lives. My dad was a Teamster. So you're Democrat, you're a Teamster, you're from slave country. Can't get any more Democrat than that, right? But I'm not a Democrat now. I haven't been a Democrat for about 8 years. And it's because as I've grown up and I've stepped back and I've looked at things from a different perspective, I opened my mind and I looked at things, and I didn't just go to the polls. I stopped going to the polls saying, well, I'm a Democrat, so I'm going to vote all Democrat, blah, 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 blah. I will never do that again, because I voted for Walz, assuming that he was doing a good job. Now we know that he has connections to the Communist Party, and that makes sense. And this is another point I want to bring up about today. And Freudian slips, most commonly known as a slip of the tongue. When Brett Baier was interviewing Kamala Harris, he confronted her about Joe Biden's cognitive condition. And when did she first realize this happened, and why hadn't she said anything? And she went on to say, Joe Biden's this experience. Okay. She started and said most of the word experiment, then jumped over it and said experience. That's what's known as a Freudian slip, or most commonly slip of the tongue. What that means is that your subconscious mind overrides your conscious mind and blurts out the truth, the deeper meaning, what is really going on, and not what you have your conscious mind doing, which is controlling, rehearsing, memorizing, watching monitors. That's the conscious mind. I'm going to say this. I'm going to rehearse and memorize this. That's why they say there are 3 things that tell the truth: drunks, 4-year-olds, and leggings. But the subconscious mind could be a 4th. Because people will blurt out things, hurtful things, painful things. The subconscious mind takes over when your inhibitions are lowered or impaired, when you're drunk or high, when you're in a panic situation. That's why torture and really intense interrogations will wear you down. They're trying to peel away and break down that shell of conscious thought where everything is controlled. where you are controlling what you're saying to get to the heart of the matter. That's why during interrogations, oftentimes law enforcement will interrogate you repeatedly. They will ask the same questions repeatedly, only they'll word it a little differently. They'll wait till you're tired, till you're fed up, and then they'll just hammer until finally, boom, you say what they believe you need to say. She spoke the truth. She had a Freudian slip, a slip of the tongue. Her subconscious was coming out. I heard it. Douglas heard it. I'm sure many others did too. This is extremely important. What experiment? Is Biden a puppet president? What experiment? Is she interjecting communism and Marxism into our nation? She chose a VP running mate who has ties to the Communist Party, who has utterly destroyed the morale, the safety, and the health and well-being of the state of Minnesota citizens that he was tasked with protecting. Her dad is a Marxist professor, and let me bring this point home to you. When you are a professor, that means that you aren't just going to a job. This is a calling. This is a passion. You don't spend decades of your life educating yourself, getting into gross debt, sacrificing your family life, sacrificing your sanity to become a professor, to make shitty wages and teach entitled, dumbass brats at a university. You don't write books about this. You don't do the lecture circuit about this if it's just a job. You don't give your life over to something that is just a job when you are a professor. Her father is a professor of Marxism. He teaches it in schools. This is him at the core. This is his passion. This is his calling, Marxism. Now, one might argue teaching is his calling. If that's the case, then why didn't he teach basket weaving or ceramics or shop? No, he taught what he was born to teach, Marxism. Marxism is communism. The leaders and founders of BLM got on a stage in front of thousands and thousands of people, and one of them was asked, "Are you a Marxist?" And she said, "Yes, I am. And the America that we know, the Constitution needs to be abolished." Quote unquote. Look it up. And Harris has given money to these people. She has supported them. She grew up and now identifies as a Democrat. Her parents probably identify as Democrats. Why? Because we have Democrat or Republican, Independent or Green Party. We don't have the Marxist Party or the Communist Party running for office here in the United States. It's not going to happen because we don't have those things here. That's why we have a Constitution. So Marxists and Communists have to run under a different flag. They have to run under the Democrat Party. And that's what they're doing. You cannot give your life to become a professor of Marxism and not bring that influence into the lives, the brains of your children and your spouse. It can't happen. It's physically impossible. You're sitting around the dining room table, they're going to talk about your day. Well, it was great. I had a really good debate with a Republican, that came in. We talked about, he was, hating on me, and then we were talking about stuff, It's going to happen. And this person writes books. They write articles for journals. They are going to have that material in their home available and accessible to their children. They are influencing their children. That is part of having kids. I hate having bangs that are, fine hair sucks. It's fine hair with a little bit of curls, so it just kind of does whatever it wants. Anyway. Yes, it's backwards, but it says pick your poison. My drug of choice is coffee. And when I die, whoever finds me will have to pry a cup out of my hand. So just to quit this lecture now, because God, it's today is the beginning, not the ending. Because the loser may be a sore loser. The winner may be a bad winner. There could be riots, there could be chaos, there could be harm to other people, depending on the results of this election. It could get stalled over, recounts and all that kind of nonsense. And remember, actually, there have been 7 times in the history of the United States that losers of the presidential elections have demanded a recount or disputed it in some way, and the majority of those 7 were Democrat runners that lost to Republicans. So let that sink in. More Democrat presidential candidates disputed the results of a presidential election than Republican, okay? But I have so much else I want to talk about. So, I'm hoping that there's a winner, there's a loser, it's clear, the loser concedes, everything is peaceful, the transition is peaceful. I hope it all comes out because I got a lot of other stuff I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about all kinds of things. Things that nobody else is talking about. And I sucked myself into the political rhetoric. I didn't want to do that. But right now, tensions are high, emotions are raw. And I love all of you. My loyal listener, my family. There are only a couple of us in our family that identify as Republicans. The rest are Democrats. And, if God, I almost called her Hillary. Hillary and Harris together make hilarious. I just made it funny. Hillary and Harris, hilarious. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure they won't show up with pitchforks and torches, except that we live really far away from the city, so they're going to have to drive a little bit, and a lot of people don't like driving at night, and you really can't have the torches lit in your car. Kind of a safety thing, So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I bid you all a farewell and adieu for today. I love you all. Be peaceful, be reasonable, and remember, tomorrow morning, no matter what happens, we will all wake up, get showered, get dressed, feed your kids, go to work, go to school, walk the dog. We will all be safe. We will all still wake up and have our homes. We will all still wake up and be who we are right now in this moment. We will be tomorrow at the same time. And until next time, be good and do good.